This time on Third January, we're going to get my truck for a Vortec installed in this $800 1989 Chevy Camaro. Not sure what made this all wrinkly, but it looked kind of sus, so we're just going to replace it with this direct replacement. It's an LS pilot bearing, found on like Camaros and stuff like that. Alright, next we got our flywheel and clutch. This is off of an 02 Camaro with an LS1, but this should fit our 4.8 just great, and we've got spacers to make sure that the slave cylinder is correctly adjusted. The torque spec on these bolts is actually in German. It's a Gut and Tight. Alright, well I was putting the clutch and pressure plate on there and I realized that I forgot to order flex plate bolts for the outside, and none of the dealers or auto parts stores had it in stock, and I'm not waiting another week to put this engine and transmission in the car.
I want it now!
So I found 6 crusty, I don't know where they came from, but they're all the same size and they fit the threads. We're going to put them in there, and if this transmission explodes at 7,000 RPM and delivers me to the heavenly gates, well, you kind of know where it started. Alright, we got the big block bell housing on the T5. See, everything lines up pretty nice. I didn't run it in with an impact because I'm a little scared of the Chinesium that this is made out of. Next step is to fit the slave cylinder in there. So my slave cylinder is a hydraulic unit, How Racing makes them, and it's made for the T5 application. So we're just going to slide it on here to start, and we're going to see where everything lines up. When I fit the transmission to the motor, we're going to see how many of these shims we need to put on there to make sure everything's lined up nice. It's all mounted up for the first time here, and you can see, we look inside that inspection cover, we've got our slave cylinder bottomed all the way out, and it looks like we still have a good bit of travel. So I'm going to pack some shims on the back there. Going to take it off, put it back in, see what comes of that. Alright, back in for the second time. Stack some shims in there, and you can see that we're just barely touching the clutch fingers. And if I stick my hand in there, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I can just rotate it on the pressure plate. But you can tell it's touching those clutch fingers. So, How Manual states that you want a 1/16 of an inch clearance. So we are one shim too far in now. So we're going to take it off, take that shim out, and then we know we'll be good. So before we put it back on, we're going to install the AN clutch lines. I got the wrong line.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well, thank goodness for Amazon one-day shipping. Got that reduced down to 3 AN line. And that should, fit our clutch line real nice. Bleeder line is in, got that installed, got to tighten it down, and everything should be ready to slap in here. Alright, I got it joined together for probably the final time until I blow up the transmission in 3 days. Gonna have to grind the bell housing a little bit around the bolt holes just because it doesn't quite clear, but you'll get that with those Chinese Amazon bell housings. Got my lines ran out here. Everything is pretty much ready to drop into the car, and I believe that's our next step. Alright, quick little detour. You'll notice that when we installed the big block bell housing, the transmission is now straight up and down instead of at an angle like it normally is in the car. So in order to install this transmission mount straight up and down, we're going to have to shave this block flat most of the way with a grinder. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll come back to you with the results. Alright, so here you go. You can see my absolutely hackneyed cuts trying to get in there with an angle grinder. But you can see you kind of just got to bend one ear up, and I put a couple washers in there because I did an atrocious job here. And one ear down, and then look at that. That's sitting pretty close to level. Close enough for me not to care. Since this transmission is just going to blow up anyway, we're going to be putting that one in. And this one I'll probably take the tail shaft housing off and actually grind it down and do a proper job of it. We're just kind of roughing this in right now. All right,
Bye.
situation update with the wife. Got the motor in. This was actually a really big pain. I should have just removed the front bumper because it gives you space to actually slide the motor all the way back. So what I had to do is get it all the way forward and as far as the hoist to go from the front. Then I kind of set it down on a piece of cardboard, slivered it over to the side. Jimmy did in the rest of the way.
Should have had me help you.
I should have. It's a lot easier with two people where you can have somebody, you know, wailing on the motor while you're manning the hoist. But it's in. So that's about it for this one. Next one, we're going to be putting everything on the motor that I took off. So thanks. That's it. Bye.